How have you been? How has the camp been?
Very good, really good. We've obviously only been there a couple of days, but yeah, brilliant to see obviously some new faces and get cracking with training.
Yeah, how are those new faces?
Fantastic, brilliant. I think it's always good. I think when you see obviously new faces come into the camp and you get to know them, you obviously know a lot of them anyway because we play against them every week and you know how well they're doing for the clubs. But to see them and then see them obviously settle in training and how brilliant they've done in training has been really good for us.
Yeah, I was just listening to Kyle Walker-Peters talking then about being in training and playing as left back in training. How's he settled in particular? Brilliant,
and it goes for all of them. I think when you come into the England setup, I think, I'll be honest with you, I can speak on behalf of myself, it's the most nerve-wracking thing in the world because you understand where you're coming, you don't want to let the players down who are here, you don't want to let the manager and the staff down who are here, so it's quite a nerve-wracking thing, but I think it's up to us as players to try and make them feel as comfortable as they possibly can, and listen, the first couple of days I think they've been brilliant, especially on the pitch.
It's kind of the business end now, isn't it, with the World Cup at the end of the year, just 3 camps until that. Do you feel that that's the case? Do you feel the pressure coming into it? Is there more competition out in the training pitch?
I feel excitement. I think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people say that about competition. There's competition, there's this, there's that, isn't it? I think everybody wants to play, but we also understand that we've got one goal with England, and that's to make sure we're ready for obviously the World Cup, and we'll be ready for that. I think as players, if you look too far ahead about competition and will he go, will I go, I think it kind of gets into your head a little bit too much. We are where we are at the minute, the players are here at the minute, and we've got 2 games that we want to go and enjoy and win as much as we possibly can.
Harry Kane's just been talking about Qatar in his media press conference, said you all had a meeting last night. How did that go? Really good.
I think it was something that we needed as a group, as players, because it was something that we've all been asked a lot on it over the last few months, and we hadn't really learned too much about it because it's a hard subject to speak about as footballers, but the gaffer obviously spoke a lot last night in the meeting in what he sees and how he sees the whole situation. It was good to learn and see obviously what's going on out there, and it was something that we needed, I think, as a group.
Yeah, you said last year that you wanted to educate yourself on what was going on, and Harry also said he was going to sit down with captains of Premier League teams, captains of national sides as well, who he has at Tottenham, and discuss whether there's maybe something you could all do together.
Yeah, I think it's important that, first and foremost, I think it was important that we educated ourselves on it and seeing what obviously we're seeing every day in the news, that what people are speaking about every day in the news, because we know at some point, and we know that as footballers we're going to be asked a question on it. And listen, Harry's a fantastic captain, and that's something where if he wants to bring people together to have that chat about it, that's something we're all more than happy and willing to do, and it's something as a group that we'll try and help as much as we possibly can. But we go back to obviously what we had last night from the gaffer and what he spoke about. It was something that we all really needed as a group, I think. Yeah.
It's easy to feel conflicted, I would expect, the excitement of a World Cup, but wanting to make sure that you use your platform to highlight issues. And
I think the biggest thing about it, and we want to be excited about it, and that's what we will be. We will be excited about it because World Cups don't come around very often, and it's an incredible moment for our country. It's an incredible moment for the world. I'll be honest with you, to have a World Cup on the horizon is absolutely incredible, and that's something we want to be excited about. But at the same time, I think the World Cup being there highlights obviously what's obviously going on and the things that have gone on out there in the past, and we've learnt a lot about it last night, but it's important we keep on doing our stuff to make sure we prepare ourselves for both on the pitch and off the pitch at the same time.
How excited are you about the draw coming up next week?
Incredible. I think it's exciting for everybody, not just football players, not just staff who are here at the minute, but I think for the whole country to see obviously what's coming and what we can all get excited for come the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. You've had a good season for Wolves, obviously, on the score sheet again. Making that a regular
habit.
About
that, do you?
No,
hey,
yeah. Well, we're starting to talk about it much more often nowadays, aren't we? What would it mean to you to be part of the World Cup squad?
Everything. And listen, I won't be the only player who sits there and says that, because we all think the same thing, but it would mean everything. I think having the experience of going to the Euros last summer was something I never dreamed of in my whole life. The 5-6 weeks we were away were some of the best weeks of my whole life. It was an incredible moment for me to be here, but more importantly to be part of this group of players, to be part of the country that obviously got to where we went to, and have a tournament more or less that was in our own country, playing at Wembley and different things. So it would be incredible, but it would also be a moment that would be massive for my family and my wife and my children, my mum and my dad. But it's something we need to keep on working towards, and like I said, I think every player will tell you the same thing, that it's important we all keep on trying to improve to put us in the best possible position for our country to do well in the World Cup. Yeah.
Obviously, one of the new players that's come in is Mark Gay, another centre-back. I'm going to talk to you about centre-backs in a minute, because I've got a few questions for for you, but have you managed to have a chat with him?
Yeah, loads of times, and a cracking lad, real good lad. And I mentioned before about playing against him. You know how good these players are when they come into it, and he's no different. We played against him a couple of times this year. We see how well he's done for Palace. We see how well Crystal Palace are doing as well, who have done brilliantly this season. And it's so good just to see him come in and be comfortable on the pitch. I think it's so hard. I mentioned before about coming into the England squad. It's so nerve-wracking at times. I was certainly nervous when I first come in, and I think it's important you try and make these lads feel comfortable on the pitch to try and show what they can do, because we're all here for the same thing. It's something we're all here to win for England. That's what we want to do. We want to do every single day, and it's so good just to see him out there for the first couple of days, showing what he does on the ball, how good he is defensively. He's a fantastic footballer and a great person. Yeah.
I'm wondering who your kind of old centre-back inspirations were when you were coming up.
Yeah, a big one for me. I was obviously a Liverpool fan growing up, and Jamie Carragher was big for me. Do you know what I mean? Because I was a massive Liverpool fan. I followed them all over the place, and I was lucky enough to obviously play with him before I left Liverpool, and that was a real big moment for me. So I think just growing up a Liverpool fan, but it weren't just him. I followed a lot of John Terry, and what a player. Do you know what I mean? He had absolutely everything. Incredible footballer, incredible captain. I think that was a massive part of it as well for me. So I think both them two in their own right and how they done things was massive influences for me. Yeah.
Were you always a centre-back? Was that always your ambition, or did you kind of evolve from another position?
No, it was never my ambition, but I always enjoyed playing it. I always enjoyed seeing how other people played it. I always enjoyed seeing how other people played the game in that position, because whenever I got asked to play there, I did really enjoy it, because you could see the whole game in front of you. That was always a big part of it. For me, I was never the fastest, I was never the strongest, but I could read the game quite well, and that was something I tried to improve on. So it was always somewhere I enjoyed playing. Did I ever think I would play there growing up? I didn't really know, because I was only a kid. I was just enjoying playing football. But when I played there, I did enjoy it. Yeah.
So where did you kind of start off then?
In midfield. Started off in central midfield as a bit of a hole. And it helped me, I'll be honest, because it's all hustle and bustle in the middle of the park, and you've got to move your feet quick. And it kind of helped me just stepping back a little bit and seeing the game in front of me a little bit more. Yeah.
Do you feel as if the centre-back role has evolved over time?
Yeah, I do. I think you have different types of centre-backs. I think you've had different types of centre-backs over the years. I do think it's changed in time, but I still think the principles and the basics of defending are still there, because that's what we are. We're defenders. We're there to stop the ball going in the net, and I think it's important you keep them principles and them basics, because I think you can get a little bit too clever with it. You see obviously fantastic footballers now who want to play out from the back, and I think that's a massive part of where it's going. But at the end of the day, you're defending, you're there to stop the ball going in the net, and I think we need to make sure we do that as defenders. Yeah.
Is that the biggest change you've seen, playing out from the back?
Yeah, I think it's big, but listen, I mentioned John Terry before, who was probably one of the best, right foot, left foot, diagonal passes, playing through the lines. He was one of the best at playing out from the back, but I think it's a massive part of the game now in terms of trying to play through the thirds, trying to play through lines. But like I said, I think the biggest point for me, being a centre half, is trying to keep the ball up the net. Yeah.
Obviously, the fullback has evolved into a position where we've got so many players fighting for places to play for England. It feels as if we don't produce as many centre backs, though. I wonder if you agree with that, and if you do, why you think that's the case.
I don't necessarily agree with that, no, because I think we produce quite a lot of centre backs. I'll be honest. I go back to obviously the days of, I mentioned John Terry there, but Rio Ferdinand, Sol Campbell, Ledley King, Jamie Carragher. Do you know what I mean? We go through all them, but then you look now at obviously the country and how we played in the last few tournaments. The boys who've played, you look at Big H and Stonesy, and Walks has obviously played in there, Mingsy's played in there, and we've got to a semi-final and a final in the last couple of competitions. So I think we have some fantastic centre-halves within our country, and something where we're always trying to improve, we're always trying to defend properly, stay together and help each other whenever we come away, and I think that's a big part of it. Yeah.
Just finally, you mentioned how excited you would be if you were selected for the World Cup squad at the end of the year. Obviously, some news that came out today was that potentially the only bid for 2028 would be a joint UK bid. I mean, do you think you'd still be pushing then, or are we
if I'm still playing in the middle of a back three? I think it'll help me if I'm still playing in the middle of a back three. Listen, it's a long way down the line. I think I'll always be supporting no matter where I am. I don't know what I'll be doing then. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what I'll be doing then. But I'll still be supporting no matter. I don't know how old I'll be then. Do you know what I mean? But it'd be incredible, absolutely incredible. I think for the country, I think for people of this country, I think it'd be amazing. Yeah, we've seen what obviously the summer can do, having the games at Wembley and how amazing that was. So I think it'd be absolutely incredible, whether I'm there or not. By the way, yeah.